It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Panthers and the reigning NFC champs. And it's coming up next on Madden NFL 22.
We're at the oldest continually operating stadium in the NFL as you're going to look inside Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. No team means more to a city than the Packers to Green Bay, and this was the scene a few moments ago as the green and gold made their way out of the historic tunnel. They're ready to go as they get set to match up with the Carolina Panthers. Brandon Gaudin, he's Charles Davis. Full disclosure, we both have mittens, we both have coats on up here in the booth. This one, it's going to be interesting.
I've got the long johns, the socks, the boots, you name it. You know me in cold weather, we don't get along all that well. But these games are always interesting because you never know how it's going to play out. One slip, someone's going for 80 yards, and you could lose a game.
Turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. This will be fielded inside the 5. And out a little across the 5 to the 27. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. The numbers for Jones last week, pretty good as he found himself in the end zone on 2 separate occasions.
And those are the most important numbers because no matter what you pile up prior to the goal line, getting in is all that matters. Putting those numbers up on the board, and they love them when they're 6s.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. A give to Jones. And he stopped immediately there. Jeremy Chin there defensively. A 2nd and 10 on a chilly, snowy December day. And I must say, I'm loving it. Kind of putting me in the holiday spirit. Charles hates it. And he's giving me the evil eye, folks. There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 42. On play action, they'll throw. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. Yetur Gross-Matos. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. Getting into the act on the opening drive here with a sack. And remember, they had 5 last week.
And they saw that on film, and that meant that they had to get together. Offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, offensive line coach, receivers coach, and say, how do we beat this pressure? Because
under pressure again, and down he goes again. They get to him for a loss of 4, and it brings up 3rd down on the sack. Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here, picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves.
Under pressure, they got him again. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on 3rd down.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. And here now the punter, Martin, booming this one away. Good open field tackling there. A 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return. And the Panthers will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. So out comes the offense now with a long field ahead of them. And a look here at their go-to guy under center.
It's a pretty bland game he had last time out. Ended up throwing 1 interception. Didn't have a touchdown to offset it. But the team found a way to win. He found a way to lean on other parts of the offense that carried them through.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. And he gets this one just shy of the 35 to the 34. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
And that's something you have to get ready for defensively, because in today's NFL, teams will use their wide receivers on jet sweeps, end arounds. They'll move it back in the backfield and make them running backs. Partner, this was much more of a tap pass, but effective nonetheless.
And I think both guys love it. If you're a quarterback, it's an easy completion. If you're a wide receiver, you get the easy reception and also a chance to try to make a play with your feet.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. Now a throw here to his running back. And he's corralled, but not before getting inside the 35.
I don't mean to jump in on you, partner, but they didn't waste any time getting downfield, did they? I mean, a nice big play there.
3 plays, 3 successful plays in plus territory. Now this defense on its heels a bit.
It seems like they had something targeted there, doesn't it? It's like, okay, we've got a matchup we like coming right out of the gate. Let's go ahead and get right to it.
And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive, INT. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. On the counter, here's Jones. And a short gain down to about the 33. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high power, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number.
Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off at the 24. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. No doubt, very disappointing end to what was a pretty strong opening drive.
They had 3 points in their back pocket. It was there for them. If you don't like what you see, just throw it away. Make sure you get those points on the board. Don't get too greedy. He forced it there. You saw the end result.
The Packers offense here coming back out for their 2nd drive and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Shaq Thompson on the tackle that time. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now a handoff. Running left is Jones. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6. And, Charles, this defense, I have to imagine, kind of licking its chops when you get a chance to face a team that's lost 3 straight.
And my surprise was listening to their head coach in his weekly presser, because normally you and I see guys that get up there and say, everybody's a threat any given Sunday, that sort of thing. But he was asked if this might be a trap game, and he essentially said he didn't see anything to worry about. Now, normally you say that to your team, but you don't tell us. You definitely don't say it to the media.
Fielded at the 20. Now, after the punt on that play, we've got a man down on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get them down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know what, a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And they run the option on second down. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. 4 yards there on the keeper, but still going to bring up a third down.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down. I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
Off the option, it's Jones. And Jones is not going to have the first down as they stop him short. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a fourth down. So on now is Johnny Hecker to punt this one away. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And they're already in the red zone. The 18-yard line is where they take over. And maybe getting a little too cute. And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just a... So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Running on first down is Jones, but he's not going to get much, maybe a couple, and it's second down. Well, this defense for the Panthers, they were very good last week in the win over New Orleans.
And what I saw on film was a nearly unstoppable pass rush. 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries given up. So now what do you do on offense? You just max protect, keep everyone in and run the ball, or maybe just 1 or 2 receiver routes in order to try and keep your quarterback upright.
They'll look to throw here. Got his man, that's Harry. And he's going to have a Packers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window, he fires a bullet in there for the completion.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack, because remember the last drive they went 3 and out.
Back to throw now on first down. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the in there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
On second down, it's Jones. And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Back for the second quarter in Green Bay. It's the Packers in possession of the football as they've got it with a third down coming up. He'll drop to throw. He'll find Harry on the right side. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up fourth down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board. Let's go, boys, let's go!
The possession of the football goes over to Carolina. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
2nd and 10. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. And defensively going with a dime set. 6 DBs on 3rd and 4. And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. And he's going to have just a couple here with a marker on the field as well. So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
36 yards on the punt with no return. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. Here's Aaron Jones in the offense trotting back out. So officially now a 1,000-yard campaign for him, but I don't think he's going to take his foot off the gas pedal.
Yeah, it's one of those thoughts, though, that creeps into your mind because there is a little mini celebration over on the sidelines. Everybody, hey, job well done, over 1,000 already. But guaranteed, as you noted, someone's jumped in that huddle and said, a lot more to be done, guys. Let's not, would you say, take your foot off the pedal? Let's not do that right now. But there is that possibility that people can get self-satisfied. The greats do not. We'll find out what he's made of.
On second down, it's Jones. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 54 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. After the run by Jones, here's first and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And fights through one man. And he'll get across midfield and into Carolina territory. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. The Packers on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 4. They'll set up to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he's going to have a Packers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 26. The give is to Jones. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. Looking to throw. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Yetur Gross-Matos able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. And that's off the right upright, and it bounces away no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So distance not the issue there. He had plenty of leg to get it there. It's that darn upright getting in the way.
Always gets in the way of a good time, doesn't it? Because he hit it square, too. Sometimes you can bank one in if you get it on the end of the football. No such luck there for him.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, it's hard to have vision as a runner and find a hole when there's nothing but defenders in your way. They stacked that one up really well. But give him credit. Instead of trying to bounce it out and turn it into a big play, which might have turned into a big loss, Kai just took his medicine there and took the 1 yard. Yeah, big play there. And when you have a running back that you can use like a wide receiver, when he has that kind of versatility, you do as they did there. Get him out of the backfield and give those defensive backs something else to worry about.
A right rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 17. And a terrific return as he'll take it to 35. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout, and we will. We've got an injured Packer on the field. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
Nice satisfying run on 1st down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. 94 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. The first red zone opportunity now for the Packers. 1st and 10 right at the 20. They'll set up a throw. Touchdown, Packers! A great effort there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Packers add on to their lead. The point after, no gimme in the snow, but it's up and good. And the lead grows to 10-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I remember
going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
They've got his man complete. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. A big play there for the Panthers. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Escaping the pressure right. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit, because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. And he is not going to get in as the big bodies stop him at the 1. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. They'll run here on 3rd and goal. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. Now the Panthers going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. So a conservative decision there, but it does put him on the board.
And I know the players hate it and the coaches hate it, but sometimes you just got to take the points when they're there. Sometimes a field goal is pretty darn good.
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So we're at halftime here at Lambeau with the Packers taking the lead to the break. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. We're starting to get near the home stretch of this NFL season. It's Week 13, so let's get an update on what's going on. We'll start over at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. Tony Pollard, a touchdown run in the victory. From there, we'll keep the Florida theme going as we head north to check on the Jags at home in Jacksonville. And they trail in that ball game to the visiting Tennessee Titans. DK Metcalf, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And for the moment, they trail the visiting Browns in that one. 2 touchdown passes there for Deshaun Watson. Now time for a check of the next-gen stats in the first half for Carolina. And they were able to have a little bit of success on the ground. The question will be, will they stick with it? Or will they be throwing more to try and regain this lead? Meanwhile, for the Packers, we take a look there at the numbers for them running the football in that first half. You'd have to imagine, given the snowy condition, lots to talk about at halftime for these two coaching staffs.
Something special about a game in the snow. Just always fun in these elements. A little chillier up here in the open air booth. The only thing that's not fun is that we got the mid-game notification that our flight was canceled tonight, but we'll deal with that later. It was really a fun game to watch, though.
It was, and there is something special about games played in the snow because the element of surprise really kicks in. You don't know how they're going to handle the ball, if someone's going to make a dramatic play just out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it just changes the course of things. But a big shout out to our crew to make sure that we were comfortable up here, as comfortable as one could be. In these elements, they took care of us and made sure we were dressed properly.
So for Green Bay, the playoffs may be out of reach, but the win gets them to 4-8 on the year. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, for Carolina, they suffer their 4th loss so far. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.